Chicago is reeling from a weekend marked by a rash of gun violence. At least 5 people were killed and as many as 39 others were wounded in shootings. The latest city crime statistics show murders are up 55% from last year. Shootings up 53%. Joining me now is Chicago native and Fox News political analyst Gianno Caldwell. Gianno, great to see you. Look, I live in New York City and the stats are alarming there as well. In November, 112.5% increase in shootings in this city. The common thread that I can see, Democrat mayors.
Yeah. You know, it's always a sad time when I'm joining you guys for segments like these because my family personally have been impacted by the violence, specifically in Chicago. A few years back, Memorial Day weekend, my younger brother was in the car with 2 of his friends when 2 men walked up and shot that car 25 times. He lived, thankfully, but his best friend died in his arms. And it's alarming what we've seen in the city of Chicago. You mentioned the statistics, and just to give raw numbers, almost 4,000 people shot in the city of Chicago since January. That's almost 1,500 more than what we saw last year. And what is the distinction between last year and this? We're in the midst of a pandemic where the city shut down, with the state partially shut down in areas. And what's more common than not is the elected officials within the city of Chicago and the state of Illinois have failed as citizens.
Gianno,
what can Americans do? Yes.
That is a sobering story, and I really am so sorry for your loss, and it really just shows us all that nobody is exempt from this. When crime is out of control, it could happen to any of us. So I am sorry for your loss. But I want to ask you this.
My brother lived, but his best friend died. My little brother.
Yeah,
my brother is still with us.
But I'm still wondering, you know, as we're looking at these cities, part of the problem has been police officers, and I always say, is defunding the police the answer? Or do you actually, and I know it sounds counterintuitive, you throw more money at the problem and you train them and you teach them and you make sure that they are out there fighting crime? Somebody's got to do it.
You know, I just had this conversation on my podcast Out Loud with Gianno Caldwell with Daniel Cameron, who's the Attorney General of Kentucky who oversaw the Breonna Taylor case on the defund the police issue. And the truth of the matter is, and I encourage people to subscribe and listen to that interview, which is out today. The truth of the matter is, individuals like AOC and other members of the squad in Congress who've been advocating for the defunding of our police, and we've seen this happen already in places like Los Angeles, New York, where you see the crime has skyrocketed. The blood of those individuals are on their hands. I may not agree with everything law enforcement does. I know that law enforcement needs reforming. I know that not every particular cop is a bad cop, as some people have tried to say. The folks at AOC, I've represented a police organization, a national police organization, and I know that there are a lot of good officers out there. So when you talk about this, I really believe that as legislators, they're doing more harm than good. Yes, reform the police, but certainly not defund the police. People in Chicago need the police, especially in these poverty-stricken areas where violence runs wild. That's why we have to have common sense when discussing these issues. And those that are elected in these particular positions, AOC and others, they're not implementing common sense. They're creating a dangerous narrative where people are dying.
Well, there's a quality of life problem, right, for citizens who live in a city like Chicago or in New York City. I've done extensive reporting here on how so many people have left because of the pandemic, but because of the violence and fearfulness, really, at this point. The city is losing revenue. It's going to be very difficult to regain that revenue and to attract people to come back. So not only are you creating an unsafe environment, but potentially long-term harming the longevity of your city.
Not only that, the trauma it caused. And I'm going to be honest, I grew up in those neighborhoods that were very, very dangerous, where people were shooting left and right. And when I was able to afford to be in a better environment, just going back to visit my family gave me trauma. I'm being very honest when I say it doesn't bring me any pride to say that, but certainly this is what a lot of folks within the city of Chicago are going through and what they've been going through on the southwest sides of Chicago and other parts of the city. That's why it's important for Chicagoans to take this moment and realize that you have to replace Lori Lightfoot, the mayor of Chicago, because she's not made it safe. She's not made it a destination city. She's made it partially helped to create a hellhole environment for the people who live there. They can't afford to put their children's lives in danger by even sending them to school when the schools were open. So this is a dangerous issue which need to be solved. Leadership has to change, and that's the only way that I can see things becoming better.
Yeah, when people don't have quality of life, if they can afford it, they leave. That's what happens.
Absolutely.
Gianno, great to see you. Thanks. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you for having me tonight.